Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. I just saw a screening of the Blackening, I should say. The Quickening is from the Highlander films, but the Blackening, this was a nice horror comedy. It's hard to pull off the horror comedy routine, but they did a nice job with it. What was good about this movie, in my opinion, they did a nice setup, which just a lot of films fail to do these days, especially. You have to care about the characters before you put them in peril. And, a lot of films, they don't. They just throw you right into the fucking action. This movie does a nice thing that other movies have done, kind of like the old Scream movies, where they have like one little, scene at the beginning, which is kind of horror based, but it's really like a foreshadowing or a pre-event, so to speak. And then you kind of build up your characters, you know what I mean? Your ensemble, and then who's going to live, who's going to die. And, the movie's about friendships and all that stuff. And the characters, I think, were well crafted so that they're relatable. People kind of can understand them. And we go from there. So it's a bunch of college friends who are all black. I mean, that's part of the fun of the movie. And they're kind of reuniting for like this 10-year post-college reunion of sorts on Juneteenth. Well, I believe that's June 19th, isn't it? And they're all having a good time. And in a cabin in the woods, a house in the woods. But of course, chaos and murder and, assault happens. And they've got this crazy game that they're forced to play, kind of like Jigsaw. They're forced to play this fucking horrible Blackening game. The Blackening is the board game, and they're all forced to play it, or else their friend will get killed. And so what is the game? Well, the game is this very offensive, they call them Sambo, caricature, kind of like, if you ever seen the Jim Crow Museum on YouTube, look into that. But it's like this old, horrible, racist, caricature head on the fucking board game, and then it starts talking to him. And then there's another element, which is like this creature, like a Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers type of bad guy, who's got the fucking similar type of Sambo mask, but he's a real human, not the board game. So there's like a double villain thing, and I won't reveal all the stuff that is revealed. But, the movie I wouldn't say it doesn't take itself too seriously, but there are some winks and nods that we're watching a fucking movie, and it's tough because when you walk that line in comedic stylings and writing of, hey, we're going to wink and nod to our audience that we're in a movie or we're making a movie, or, and even the advertising for this thing, we can't all die first. It's kind of a tip of the hat to that, kind of phenomenon from the 1980s horror movies that the black character, if there is one, dies first. So the humor being that we're all black, so, we can't all die first. So, I mean, there's a lot of, like, humor and pop culture references to, like, the different Aunt Vivs on, was it fucking The Fresh Prince or on Family Matters? I guess there was two characters that were replaced in those shows, I think. So, so on and so forth. There's like, I'm not trying to be cool or hip or anything, but there was a lot of, we could say black jokes, African-American humor, not jokes making fun of black people, but jokes specific that the black audience are supposed to get, like inside jokes. And I got maybe half of them. I got some of the TV stuff, like the Aunt Viv stuff and stuff like that. I did not know, I was not informed, no one told me, I guess, that the card game Spades is big in the African-American community. I guess I don't like poker. I don't like card games. I consider them a waste of time. If I am going to play some type of board game, it's going to be chess, okay? But in any event, I guess Spades is a big thing with the characters in this movie, at least, because it's like a big fucking thing that they keep talking about. So I guess I'll have to do that sometime, but whatever the fuck. But yeah, I liked the movie. I thought it was good. The audience, that I saw this movie with, it was a free screening courtesy of Lionsgate, which, if you know me, you may know that I actually co-wrote a horror film, The Manor, and acted in it as well with Kevin Nash and the young lady from Dexter and the lady from The Craft, Rachel True, who played a character that I created, Dr. Trivniak, and so on and so forth. So I'm always very supportive of Lionsgate, since whether they fucking know or don't give a fuck or not, they've supported me. Okay. So I thought it was a good fucking movie. You know, whenever you do one of these, not you, but whenever a fucking film company does, let's say, a ethnic group specific film, which here in the United States usually is like, you know, it's either going to be Latino American or Black American, or I like that term, Black American, Latino American, instead of African American, you know, because who the fuck knows? I mean, would you call Charlize Theron African American? I mean, she's from South Africa. So, I mean, all these terms are so goddamn convoluted. We try to be politically correct, but we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. But I do like that Black American. I'll be a white American, fuck it. And you can be a Black American or a Latino American, whatever the fuck you want to be. I don't give a shit. But this movie, whenever producers make a movie with an audience, like an ethnic group in mind, or whatever you want to say, the racial group, I don't like that term because we're all in the human race, but whenever they make a goddamn movie like this, it's one of those things where you don't want to, in my opinion, you don't want to talk down to your audience or condescend. And I don't think you necessarily want to stop other groups from seeing the movie either. I'm thinking of Crazy Rich Asians. You want to make the most money possible. So even with the movie titled The Blackening, you don't necessarily want non-black people to see the movie, I would think. I mean, I saw it. So you want everybody to see it, I would think, if you want to make your fucking money and make lots of money, right? So you do kind of cross that line, or you make that line, or you walk that line of what is fun for your first target audience without totally excluding the other folks. So I think this movie did a fairly good job with that situation. I'm in Florida, so they're so goddamn politically correct here. They don't even call these assholes roaches. They call them palmetto bugs or whatever the cunt. And this giant one just got into my fucking vehicle because I'm sitting here with the goddamned goddamned whatever the fuck, the light on and the windows open so I can breathe. And now this fucking goddamned roach has come into my life, and I'm very upset. Okay, these palmetto bugs, whatever the fuck. So I don't know. But anyway, movie was good. Is it the greatest movie of all time? No. But I thought it was enjoyable. So there you go, folks. I'm just a little disturbed right now. This fucking palmetto bug or whatever. See, I'm making a little horror movie myself, for Christ's sakes. Put me in the goddamned movies, Lionsgate. So any fucking way. The Blackening, go see it or don't. I thought it was fun. Is it a horror movie? Like if you want blood and guts and, oh my God, suspense and all that shit? No, I mean, it's not like that. It's more like a fun horror film, which is, like I said, it's like a niche within a niche, the comedy horror film. But if you like, if you like seeing a horror movie without seeing like, I tell you that the thing that I don't like about some horror movies is small digit manipulation, like foot stuff. I don't like when like characters step on fucking spikes and shit like that, like foot injuries or like twisted ankles, like that type of shit freaks me out. And so this movie doesn't really do that. They have like people getting stabbed with a fucking bow, which is kind of fucked up, but in a comedic way. So it's not a gruesome horror film. It's a horror film that your Aunt Wanda could watch and not have a fucking pissy foot. Anyway, Mike Messier, One Mike Messier YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, I have Mike's Instant Movie Reviews. You might be saying, well, gee whiz, Mike, what makes you a goddamned expert? Well, go to One Man in a Camera Films YouTube channel, the numeral 1 Man in a Camera Films, and watch my goddamn movies that I make. And One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan for the Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan. Goodbye.